Today, we're going to talk about a paint by numbers guide to building habits that actually stick. And this works for weight loss too. But before we get into it, I want to share a story with you. I'm going to talk to you about Sophia. Now, Sophia had always wanted to be an artist and admired artists, right? She dreamed of painting a stunning landscape, golden fields stretching under twilight skies. But every single time she sat down with a blank canvas, she froze. Where should she begin? What if she ruined it? The fear of imperfection kept her from even picking up the brush. But then one day, a friend gave her a paint by numbers kit. It almost felt like cheating, right? But before she filled in the tiny sections of each color, which we'll get to here in a minute, we're going to talk about how this was habits. Something really magical began to happen for her. Bit by bit, the masterpiece revealed itself. No stress, no overwhelm, just one simple step at a time. But habits work the same way. So, like Sophia, many of us set goals, right? Only to feel paralyzed by the enormity of the task. We want to eat healthier, exercise more, or meditate daily. But without a structure, we flounder. And a paint by numbers approach to habits removes the intimidation, gives us a clear path to follow. But again, it's not about perfection, it's about consistency. So let's explore this method, that way it can transform how you build habits. First of all, real quickly, my name is Dr. Lori Marvis. I'm a board certified family and lifestyle medicine physician with a true desire to help people understand not only the fundamental things they should be doing for their lifestyle, like eating well, exercise, those things, but actually have a system, which you'll learn about in the link below, by the way, of how to build habits and which core habits to really focus on, especially around improving your health, and what I call the 7 core metabolic habits, which you can learn about in the webinar below for free. But let's go right in. So first of all, bringing out my doodles, we're going to start with the simple outline, right? We're going to define the habit clearly. So before Sophia dipped her brush into the paint, for example, she noticed something. The canvas was not blank. It had a delicate outline of the final image was already there, right? All she had to do was follow it. And this is exactly how habits begin. You start with a clear structure, right? If you don't define what you're aiming for, you're going to feel lost. So instead of saying, I want to get fit, you outline a very specific action, right? I will do 10 squats. Oh no, my pin's not working. Here we go. 10. It's the first time I've used these. Well, fiddle. 10 squats, right? So if you want to do 10 squats after brushing your teeth every morning. So the first thing is the 10 squats. That's the behavior we're going to follow. Okay. And then every morning after brushing my teeth. So brushing teeth, so it's AM, and you have the brushing of teeth. This is a toothbrush, guys. I'm trying to do it very quickly here. Brushing teeth in the morning, right? Or maybe it's, I'll drink a glass of water as soon as I wake up. So maybe it's a glass of water. Every morning when you wake up, maybe there's a little alarm clock that goes off, right? It's at 6 a.m. Okay. So again, or maybe it's, I'll read one page of a book before bed. Here's really a pro tip. The clearer the outline, the easier it is to follow. And a vague habit leads to vague results. Step 2 is number your actions, right? Break it down into what we call micro habits. So for example, Sophia didn't have to paint everything at once. The kit gave her one small numbered section at a time. So when she focused on just filling in one small section, right, she felt no pressure to finish the whole painting. So when we set habits, we often think too big. We need to exercise for an hour every day. But just like painting, habits are best built in layers. So if an action feels overwhelming, if it's too big, shrink it down. So instead of exercise for 1 hour, maybe we just do 1 squat or 1 push-up, okay? Instead of eating healthier, maybe we start adding 1 vegetable to dinner versus changing your whole diet to a plant-based diet. So maybe we have some salad here. Yeah, I should have a green. Anyway, you get the gist of it. And so instead of writing a book, for example, you start with just one sentence a day. Now, those micro habits feel effortless, but they build momentum. So, just like in a painting, once you start filling in a section, you naturally want to continue. So, the pro tip here is the best micro habits feel too small to fail. I mean, start ridiculously small. Momentum will take care of the rest. Step 3 is follow the sequence, right? Trust the process and stay consistent. So first, Sophia, let's say she questioned the strange order of what she was doing, right? Why was she painting random patches of finishing one whole area first? But as she followed the sequence, she saw the bigger picture coming together. And this is exactly how consistency works in habits. You may not always see immediate progress, but you trust the process. And when you commit to a habit, even in the tiny increments, right? The one squat or the one push-up or flossing one tooth, right? One sip of water. All of this accumulates beneath the surface. So instead of relying on willpower, you attach your habit to something that you're already doing, right? So after you brush your teeth, you floss one shiny tooth. Okay. So after you pour your morning coffee, okay, so we're pouring our morning coffee or tea in my case. Okay, so here's your coffee. You pour it in there and it's steaming hot. What are you going to do? Maybe you drink the one glass of water, or maybe it's even just one sip of water. Okay, so after you sit on your couch in the evening, take 10 deep breaths before you turn on the television. So when habits have a natural place in your routine, they require less effort to maintain. So if you attach those habits to something familiar, this is called habit stacking. And it really makes consistency very, very simple and automatic. Now, the other thing here to understand is you may need to adjust the shade. Step 4 is adjusting the shades. So refine and adapt as you go along. So as Sophia, for example, might have neared her completion, she noticed that some colors just didn't look right and the shadows needed some softening. Maybe the sky needed more depth. She adjusted her brush strokes accordingly. Similarly, there we go. Habits aren't rigid, right? They require some tweaking. And if a habit feels difficult, don't abandon it, just adjust it. So let's say if you're struggling to meditate for 10 minutes, drop it to 2 minutes. So if you're waking up early to exercise isn't working, switch to afternoons or weekends or evenings, excuse me. If tracking food feels tedious, maybe just simplify, if tracking food feels tedious, simplify it to just, maybe one note per day, like what you ate for breakfast. So many people quit because they assume a habit isn't working, but the truth is it usually just needs a small adjustment. So if a habit isn't sticking, don't throw it away, just shrink it, simplify it, right? Step 5 is step back and see the bigger picture. So this is what we call, in this case, a habit loop. We're looking at the big picture. What are we building here? So, for example, when Sophia finally finished her painting, she stepped back and marveled at the masterpiece. At first, it might have seemed impossible, but all it took was one small section at a time, right? You start small here, you do one small behavior, and before you know it, you're getting this reward, and you want more and more of it. Your brain begins to cycle this repetition, and you see the big picture here is the habit loop, right? So when it comes to habit, it's very important that we often forget to step back and see how far we've come. And so instead of focusing on how much is left, celebrate the progress, right? That celebration creates that reward, that dopamine that the brain wants to keep doing this habit loop, right? This cue, this behavior, and the reward. That's all comes together as one big habit loop. So, for example, did you exercise 3 days last week instead of 7? That's still progress, right? Did you drink more water than before? That's progress. Did you meditate even for a few minutes? Even if it's not perfectly, that is progress. Success isn't doing everything flawlessly. It's about showing up even imperfectly. So again, pro tip here is track those small wins. The momentum builds when you acknowledge every step forward. So remember, your brushstrokes are your masterpiece. So Sophia's painting was, again, not about her raw talent, but it was about following the process. And in the end, she created something beautiful, just like you can. The habits work the same way. You don't have to be perfect. You don't have to finish all at once. You just have to keep showing up, brushstroke by brushstroke, action by action. So again, what habit will you do today? And if you're looking for even a more deeper explanation of the systems needed for weight loss, I have an entire free webinar all about that. And I really would love for you guys to check it out. I think you're going to love it. It's literally how to lose weight without counting calories, without feeling the stress and the momentum or stress, without feeling the stress of actually, the willpower, right? So it's how to lose weight effortlessly without dieting, willpower, or counting those calories. And you're going to learn 3 secrets. And this is the important thing here, is that secret number 1 is why trying harder will never get you where you want to go, right? So why trying harder will never work and what to do instead. Secret 2 is you're not broken. You just haven't tried this yet. Secret 3, the hidden force controlling your habits and how to use this for your advantage. That is honestly the best one. I think that's the most powerful one of all of these. Well, they're all powerful. But anyway, check it out. It's for free down below the webinar. You can watch it on demand anytime. I can't wait to see you there. But I hope this makes sense, that you can literally think of the habits that you're creating are so important. It's like small increments. If you just think about it, it's just when you take one tiny step, this will build momentum. And I know it seems sometimes frustrating and overwhelming when you want to change your life and build better habits and eat healthier and get stronger and all those things. But remember, you have to do one thing at a time. You didn't come out of the womb running, right? You didn't come out of the womb knowing how to do everything you did today. First of all, you looked up and you saw, wow, this wonderful world I'm in. And then you started turning your head and looking around, and then you started rolling, and then you started, rolling on your belly, and you maybe got up and started crawling. And then you started stumbling around walking, right? And then you started running, and then your parents panicked, because that's what parents do when kids start running and crawling on things. So anyway, I hope you found this helpful, and I'm so grateful for you being here. And I'm sending joy, love, and healing your way as always. And thank you for being here, and I hope you have the beautiful rest of your day.